pays for itself. Don't miss the summer deal where all your monthly memberships are 50% off on your first month, starting at $9.99 a month. Become a member today at Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Bat Beach Road, right next to Home Depot. Tell them Coach Hale sent you.
Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning.
WGSX 11 WTOT
happy this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
Port St. Joe. James Hale Show at ESPN Northwest Florida. Live from the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get past the people, get past the hit me.
Hit me! 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. All you fine people of Mariana, 102.1, and Port St. Joe, 101.9. And in Weewall, the home of Jeremy Pridgeon, the legendary Jeremy. How you doing, Jeremy?
Doing well, Coach. Good morning.
Good
to be
morning
with
to you. I'm glad you're back in the saddle. And Brian is back here with us again today. Thank goodness. How you doing, big guy?
Doing well.
Hey, did you have a good lunch yesterday?
I did.
Where-
Wasn't
where'd
as
you-
long as your lunch, but
I
yeah.
was there to 3:30.
Lunch?
Yes. J.
Wow.
Michael's Restaurant. Well, let me tell you what happened. Brian and I and our two girlfriends were there
Yep.
having a great time. And they said, well, I got to go. I said, well, I can't. I just got a phone call. I've got one of my former coaches that coming to town, him and his beautiful wife, on his birthday. He had just turned 85 years old. Doc
wow.
Holliday and Karen Holliday were in town. So Jim Durant and Judy came over there because they coached at Cape Coral. Scott Shepard, he came over. We had like a Cape
had a
Coral.
reunion.
We did. We had a great time talking about all the good old days. And, man, we had some great times down in Cape Coral, Florida, and it was great. And they're here. And they didn't know we were going out of town. We're getting ready to – you and Brian getting ready to take over. You don't know it. I didn't want to tell you. I said you wouldn't come. I'll be leaving here shortly.
All in an audible.
Yeah, we're heading to Birmingham. And anyway, we had a great time yesterday. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about you, and I got to know about the experience at Texas. First of all, Will Anderson said it's the loudest stadium he's ever been in. Now, he's been in Baton Rouge on a Saturday night. He's been in Auburn for the Iron Bowl. He's been in this swamp. That's some big words. You've been to all these places. Was he exaggerating, or was it the loudest you've ever seen?
It was deafening. I mean, they were ready, and they wanted our heads. I mean, it was just apparent. The whole atmosphere, even with an 11 a.m. kickoff, we got to the stadium rather early. It had a festival, carnival type feel about it. Some of the best tailgating that I have seen. I mean, to have both, major networks there. One didn't even have the game and showed up with their show, and then to have all of the things they had for the families. If you've not been to Austin, put it on your bucket list because they do it right.
Man, I wish I'd have gone.
Well, there was just an amazing, kind of energy in the air, and you could tell
it through TV too.
Yeah,
you really could.
It was, I think what fans like in these sort of non-conference games. I know Texas is coming into the conference, but it was truly one of these where you've been to the neutral sites like I have.
Yeah.
It's a municipal field.
Yeah.
No, we were on campus. It's time to play. It's on your grass.
I knew it was going to be special. They had Young, the former quarterback, Heisman Trophy quarterback. They had that beat USC. Vince Young,
Yep.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
He was so pumped up. Now I'm gonna tell you what. I have not watched Fox hardly any in their show.
Right.
I'm telling you, I'll be honest with you. I thought they did a better job on Fox than they did in Game Day. I was impressed. I really was. And it was an hour shorter, but they were in the state. They were really on top of everything.
Yeah, they had them located at the corner of the stadium there.
It was something else. But he was so pumped up. The crowd was going crazy. Game Day, ESPN, when they had those Texas people on, it was nuts. And Fox did a better job showing it around different parts of the community, different parts of the stadium. And I text you, I say, you're not there yet? Because, it's Game Day started earlier.
Right.
And I've seen all this stuff going on. I said, Jeremy, I don't think it's at the stadium yet. And you texted, on our way. I said, you better hurry up and get there.
Yeah, it was going early. And, to see their traditions before the game is always kind of cool as well.
What is some of theirs?
So yeah, Smokey, the cannon they fire off. First time they fired in that stadium, I mean, there were a couple people ducking, thinking they'd been shot.
Not a good thing to fire off in a
Not
stadium.
this time of day, yeah. Not now.
And there's no rhyme or reason as to why they do it. I mean, it's not, like some are almost choreographed when okay, we scored, this is going to happen. No, they just, okay, big moment in the game, let's fire this thing. So the Eyes of Texas was very impressive.
Yeah, I bet that is
when
cool.
you've got 100,000 in unison singing the Eyes of Texas are upon you, and that's.
And
pretty
remember,
strong.
they were talking about we might need to get rid of that song.
Mm-hmm.
That was for Curry. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, that was.
What about right? Like how Bama shows Coach Bryant's talking and all that stuff. Ain't never been nothing but a winner and all that. Did they do something like that?
They really didn't have a whole lot on the jumbotron. They did a lot through the announcer, and he kind of described the conditions, and he said time to bring the heat. And I mean he kind of set the stunt, and it was hot. Gosh, it was hot. Now, different heat than Gainesville last year. Gainesville was like a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
That was just so humid. I mean, the swamp lived up to its name. This was that dry heat where you felt like you were just evaporating. And
They showed the temperature on the field. At one time it was like 115 degrees. That's
Great big thermometer sitting on the
yeah,
field.
very very little breeze circulating through. I mean, it was stifling, and how those players held up. I mean, it speaks to their conditioning because most average folks, they had the hydration stations out. They weren't even worried about selling bottles of water. They couldn't keep up. They just had big old tanks with hoses coming in.
Yeah, I was that. I mean, I know you had a good time, Brian. I want to thank the guy. He said he went up and spoke to you after you ate at J. Michael's. He came up to the table.
Oh, Richard?
Yeah, Richard.
Yeah,
thank you,
I
man.
missed him. He saw me as I was walking out,
Oh,
and
he
I
said
didn't
he
see
ta-
the
I thought he
text
said he
until
talked
I
to you.
got there.
Oh,
But
okay,
Yeah, no,
okay.
I hate that I missed him because he's a good buddy, but and he
Yeah.
listens all the time.
Yeah,
but
I thanked him. I said, yeah.
yeah,
I
he
thought
does
y'all
a great
talked.
job over there with TDC, everything on the beach. So.
Speaking of big wheels, explain to everybody how you actually got to the stadium. I mean, you didn't have to fight the traffic. No wonder you were in there late when you just walk on in the stadium ahead of everybody else. How did that happen? Tell everybody out there what happened.
I'll tell some of it.
Somebody got a little VIP.
Oh, he is the man. They knew
yeah.
he was in town.
We were very fortunate. We had an escort to the stadium there, which made it a whole lot
Police
easier. getting
escort.
around. Yeah.
Okay, police escort.
What did you do? I thought you was one of the good guys.
Yeah, we're still a good guy, but the traffic was really insane. I mean,
Oh, I
the
bet.
stadium's right off of I-35, and you've got all of these.
Where's everybody
folks trying-
park?
They just parked in and around the stadium as best we could tell. I mean, we walked as much as we could, but it spreads out, and you're getting that many people into Austin very early in the morning, and to not have to deal with that headache. I mean, we were picked up and taken in and dropped off, within about 4 blocks on the.
I know what you're saying.
security
I
perimeter.
lived in Austin
Yeah.
for 5 years, back in 2003, 4, 5, 6, and traffic there. I don't know if they got a new toll road highway,
It is the city
and
toll road.
35 runs right smack dab through the middle of it,
Mhm.
and it's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Austin was kind of part of that hill country. Everything I
Yeah.
think of Texas is flat,
Flat,
because all the
yeah.
parts I've been in Texas are flat.
North
But
Austin.
Yeah.
Do they have a lot of lakes too?
It had lakes,
Lake Travis.
Yeah.
which is really the Colorado River that's dammed
Runs
up
through it,
there,
yeah.
and some beautiful scenery.
I got to tell you a story about Texas. Something I read. If we get a chance, I don't know if I have a chance to, but when you said that, it made me think of something. All right,
Tell
all
the
right,
story.
all right. It's enough about you. Let's just no, no. I'm just kidding. All right, what's going on? They Brian and I talked about this morning. They shot out the email to all. Who was it? Georgia and I forgot that Tennessee. Cancel your game, get another game. You're not that Texas or Oklahoma's off the board. What does that tell us? Does that mean Texas and Oklahoma are coming in next year, 2023, 2024? We know it's going to be 2024 at least.
I think as far as you can tell right now, the contract agreements changed because those series cannot be finished up before they come in. And so, a non-conference game, you negotiate all of these things in order
Right.
to play.
Right.
And once your conference game, the conference rules take precedent. And so it really becomes uneven for one of the schools who's hosting. And I think, Georgia was to go out to Oklahoma, I believe, and Tennessee was to host Oklahoma. And so they're trying to finish that series up as a conference, game, not,
Right.
and I don't think they have time to complete the deals, I mean, there's money exchanged in a non-conference game in some of these cases where you pay for the visiting team to travel. Those things don't apply once you're playing a conference game.
Right.
So
right.
I think
And your bands will be sitting in the lower level in the SEC, not up in the top.
not at Lake Travis.
Yeah. So that's going to listen. Texas. You know how much you got a lot of captains over there. Not many mates. That they sell those tickets for a lot of money. So they're going to have to put a section of those people have been paying for years sitting there. They're going to have to go up top. But it's going to happen. They're not going to be able to pull some of the things
Air
they've done.
conditioning probably has to work.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I may tell you off air something. I can't tell you on the air about something, but Nick wasn't happy with somebody. But anyway, I'll tell you about that later. I do want to get this story. It won't take long. And it reminds me, how I always give the story of the update how Putin has ruined the animals here in the United States throughout the world.
It's been a while
Now
since
we've
had one of
wrapped
those
Putin
stories.
into the animal update.
No, it's always been here.
Oh,
You
my
hadn't
God.
listened. But I'll make it quick. I was reading, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. This happened in Texas, small little town in Texas. They had a restaurant, nothing special, just showed a little picture. It was like a hole in the wall, but people actually went there and ate, and it had a pier to it. And it was on a river, a lake, something. I want to say a river. Maybe it was a lake, somewhere in Texas. I don't remember the name of the town. Well, people would go out there, jump in the water, cool off, come back in, sit in there, eat, have some beer and everything
That
else.
sounds like San Antonio down
It
there
could have been
on the river
I don't
walk.
know. It could have been. No, this was not nice like that.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, they're out there and they had seen before some of these 4-foot gators, and they're like, no big deal, they don't bother anybody. Well, then one day they see a log. They go, my God, that log's moving. What's going on? The river's like glass. What? They get out there. It's a big, huge gator. So the owner goes, what does he do? They go. Signs everywhere. No more swimming. Man, don't swim anymore. Y'all crazy. No swimming, no swimming. Sure enough, it's been a hot day. This guy comes in. They say he was 24 years old, had his little girlfriend with him. They go and eat. They're drinking. They walk out the pier, and she told them, don't go swimming out there. I don't hear that crap. Sure enough, they both jump in. And it wasn't even dark. Yeah, it was getting dark, they said. They get in there. All of a sudden, he screams. She sees it. She runs out. By the time they get down there, they have flashlights and everything else. He's nowhere. And then later on, it's completely dark, and they see a body floating. They sit the flashlight on the body, and all of a sudden, boom,
It hits
gone,
it again. Yeah.
gone. And never was found again. Then they go in there and start killing gators left and right. But here we go. Putin had been there the week before. I just want y'all to know.
That's what the story was.
That's a true story. That really happened. That was crazy. And you just don't think in
Signs
Texas. I
everywhere,
mean,
signs.
gators are everywhere now, and we used to not ever hear any. Did we not hear much about that in the past?
Well, the gators are there. It's just the people are everywhere.
Yeah,
now,
I think it's the. You're right. I think it's the people are going everywhere.
Most of the time, a gator wants nothing to do with you. If
Right.
a gator's coming to you, they've had some human interaction that has lessened their fear.
When I went to see the Artemis rocket launch, though, I went to a little park there,
yeah.
and there are two. It's called Lake something Park, and there's like nobody there, and they have an observatory, a tower that you can walk up in, and I guess locals don't know about it, or they just come at the last minute, but like we were the only ones there. So we were walking around the park, and in both different ponds, they're separated by a walkway and a like a flood wall kind of thing. But in both of those ponds, the whole time we were walking around those little lakes, and I guess they were probably
You better be careful.
There were gators in both of them, just watching us,
Lake-
And then I got a cooler
Listen.
and pulled it over to the tower where we were going to watch the rocket launch, and gator just crawled right up on the bank into the
They're
lily
not-
pads
listen,
and just
we-
laid there and said, I could hear him thinking, as soon as you walk away from that picnic basket, it's mine.
We lived in Lake
And
Wells,
he
Florida.
wasn't 20 foot away from me.
The big gators would get out there and sun themselves. And there was a walk path there. They're not scared of humans at all.
Not at
They
all.
don't back down. They're used, and they have killed so many dogs. It's crazy. I can't believe anybody hadn't been killed by a human had been killed down there, but it's scary. All right, we got to talk about some of our great places. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, $5 domestic beer. They got happy hour Saturdays and Sundays all day long. You buy one small beer, the next one. Now I say that They got two sizes of mug. They got that huge one and the regular size mug. You don't need the huge one. So you get the small one. I call it small. It's not very small.
That keeps
Buy-
it cold.
Yeah, and you buy one, you get one free.
Yeah.
Small margaritas, same thing. Buy one, get one free. House wines all day long. All right. Happy hour at normal, Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. They got the NFL ticket. They got it all. That's the place to go. Mexican food is incredible. The newest in Bay County, right across the Navy base. No doubt about that. J. Michael's Restaurant, yesterday we had a reunion. It was a great time there. World famous spaghetti. And matter of fact, they loved it. They were going to get seafood, and they said, you know what, we'll try this spaghetti. I've heard about it, and they loved it. I told them how good it was. Steve and Eric, does it feel good right now? Jeremy, does it feel good right now?
It does. I brought my jacket for that reason.
Yes, sir. Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason, thank you. They do a wonderful job. Have any kind of problems day or night, give them a call. They'll be out there and solve all issues. Chuck Tucker, South Oak Title and Closing. You got your real estate deals going on. You make sure you demand Chuck Tucker, South Oak Title and Closing. No surprises whatsoever. Buffalo Rock, they've done so many great things for the great people here in Bay County, especially the athletic teams here. They've taken care of the children of Bay District schools, no doubt about that. Let's take care of them. When you got a big get-together, make sure you got a Dr. Pepper or Pepsi this weekend. Jeremy, what are you drinking right now?
Dr. Pepper, zero sugar.
There you go.
Zero
He is
sugar.
nothing but a winner, says Bear Bryant. All right, we'll be right back. Julie Hale's in the house, 104.3 ESPN, 101.9 Port St. Joe, 102.1 Brian. It's over in Mariana today. We'll be right back.
When the train pulled into the station.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Giants have a coach. The thing I liked the most is that moment on the sideline with Daniel Jones. Jones throws a terrible interception in the end zone, and Daboll is over there coaching him. That was not yelling. That wasn't Bill O'Brien and Brady yelling at each other. That was a coach correcting. That was a coach doing his job. He's coaching. If I'm a Giant fan today, I am delirious.
Greeny, weekdays 2 to 4, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting another dry day today. Mostly sunny skies at near 90. Light northeast winds. There might be a shower or thunderstorm later tonight. Partly to mostly clear in the low 70s. Water temperature in the Gulf 85. Showers and thunderstorms will be on the increase Friday into the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Get ready for the PCB Fishing Rodeo September 23rd through October 9th at Captain Anderson Marina. Join us for the kickoff party Saturday, September 24th with live music from 4 till 7 p.m. To be a part of this exciting event, you can register at Captain Anderson Marina or online at PCBFishingRodeo.com. The PCB Fishing Rodeo, September 23rd through October 9th.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy.
I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending.
Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest for Thursday. It's Mosley Day. We got Coach. Let's bring Coach on right now. Coach Wooden, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
It's great to have you. Let's talk about it, you guys. How long did y'all play? 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters? How long did the game go on?
We played 2.5. We got the running clock, and then shortly after getting the running clock, there's a strike of lightning, and so we just decided to end the game. Since we had the running clock going.
So it was long enough for the game counts officially, correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. All right. Offense was clicking. What did you score? 42, 48 points in 2.5 quarters. Jeremy, that's pretty good. That's pretty good offense output. Talk about the game. Give us a rundown of the guys that played well for you.
Yeah, Sammy Freitas did a really great job for us at quarterback. He had 3 touchdown passes. He had 2 rushing. Isaac Ball had some big plays. Randy had some big plays. Chima had some big runs for us. So it was a good overall offensive effort. I thought we just had a little bit more rhythm had a little bit more pace to what we had in the previous weeks. And then I thought our guys on defense played really hard. Arnold really tried to slow down the game and try to limit our possessions, but defense did a good job, like I said, playing hard, getting us the football back.
Jeremy?
Coach, congrats on the win and the bounce back. You mentioned something there in that last comment I want to follow up on. Arnold slowing the game down. Do you go into a game looking to try to dictate pace, whether it's an up tempo pace or slow it down, or is that just something that you just kind of let sort of emerge as the game is going on? Looking at the Leon game this week, is there anything you're doing scheme wise that kind of takes that into account? Everybody watched App State over Texas A&M. App State had that same mindset, but that's something we haven't talked about. I'm curious to hear your thoughts as to pace of play and number of plays and what's your target on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to try to play at our pace. We'd like to have a little bit of a tempo to us offensively. When I was a young coach, I just always wanted to play fast, and snap it as many times as we possibly can. Once I became a head coach, I realized a lot more. It's important to keep the defense on the sideline as much as we can. So there's times, where we want to play fast, and there's going to be times that we slow down the game. A lot of that just dictates on the situation of the game. Now, what the other team decides to do, I mean, we ultimately have no control over that. Teams that feel like they're the underdogs typically like to slow down the game to try to limit the number of possessions there are in the game. So, again, we want to control what we can control, and we definitely like being able to control the tempo of the game and play at our pace when we're on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, talking about Leon a little bit, tell us what you know about your visitors from Tallahassee coming over.
Yeah, it's our first district game, so district games definitely carry a little bit more weight. These are the games that determine making the playoffs. So Leon's coming over. They're 0-3, so they're in a little bit of struggle right now, but they've definitely got some running back is a really good player. They've got some wideouts that can run. They've actually scored a couple of touchdowns this year through special teams. So we got to make sure that we're really locked in on all of our kicking units. But again, we got to do a good job of just controlling the game from the start, and making them have to earn everything in the ball game.
How are they athletic? They got a lot of speed, team speed.
I mean, they do. They definitely got some guys. They got some guys that can run. Being a school from Tallahassee, they don't have a ton of guys that can run, but they definitely do got some guys that can run. That if you're not doing what you're not playing assignment defense, they can get behind you or get out in space and get a big play. But just their overall depth of overall team speed. Not a ton of guys, but they definitely, like I said, they got a couple of guys that can run.
Physically, on both sides up front, how do they compare to you guys? What's the matchup like there? Are they bigger?
No, they're not. I definitely like our matchups in the front seven with our offensive line and our front seven on defense. So, I think there's some opportunities for us to be able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. That's going to be our expectation going into the game, and a good opportunity for our guys just to be really physical and set the tone of playing a physical brand of football.
What was it like finally having a solid week of good weather? I mean, I guess y'all practice every single day this week.
Oh, yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice. We practice a little bit later, just so at this time of the year, you're either dealing with the heat, you're dealing with heat, lightning, or rain, one of the three. And this is the first week of practice, like you said, we hadn't had to deal with any of those three. Honestly, once it gets about 6 o'clock, there's been a little bit of coolness in the air, and it feels like those times where you could just practice all day long. It feels so good outside. So, hopefully the weather's starting to make a turn for us. But it's probably just a trick, and we probably still got a lot more hot weather coming.
Yeah. Coach, looking at Leon's first three, they played North Florida, played Quincy Monroe, Florida High. I mean, kind of playing below class on their preseason schedule, and coming out of that 0-3, it looks like one of these games where playing to your standard is going to be the key. And how do you continue to preach that to the kids at this point? Getting close to the midpoint of the season to just focus on what they can control and not really worry about who's on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's just our message going into every single week. I mean, the only team that we can control is ourselves. Any energy and effort that you worry about the other team is just less energy that you're focused on the things that you can ultimately control. So that's always our message. It definitely applies this week, maybe a little more than others. So, again, we just want to go out here and make sure we're locked in. We have a lot of energy. We have a lot of effort. Excuse me. And then we also, just our execution is crisp, and we're making really good decisions.
And tell us about how to go to the game and the times and all of those things for those listening and want to come out and watch it.
Yeah, so the tickets are going to be on GoFan. As like always, you can either go to GoFan.com or download the app, type in Mosley High School, and be able to pull up the tickets. The game's going to be this Friday at 7 o'clock at Tommy Oliver, and then also. If you can't make it to the game, you can always listen to us on ESPN Radio.
There you go. Coach, I wanted to ask something. When you took your little trip down south to Orlando, did you get to talk to Gus? Did you spend any time with him?
No, we didn't, because at that point in time, the colleges were in their dead period. So the coaches weren't able to come watch us practice or, come be able to talk to us or any of the boys. So it was unfortunate, just kind of how it fell on the NCAA calendar, right. It being a dead period. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to sit down and talk.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck to you. The game is Friday, and there is a high school game tonight. Rutherford plays tonight, so it gets cranked up. Get out and support these kids. They work extremely hard. I'll say it all the time. This is where they learn discipline
Starting
from
to
these
get football
coaches.
weather, too.
Yeah, it's fun. It's starting to feel good. Hey, thank you so much, Coach. We'll talk to you next Thursday, okay?
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. All right, Jeremy. Hey, did you hear about the kid? I forgot what state it was. Somewhere up north. Either he was paralyzed or coma or something. He came to and he said, "Roll Tide." Did you?
I didn't.
Yeah, I just saw it on CBS. I'll look more into that when we get a break.
Sounds like fake news to me.
No.
Yeah, you look at Mosley's schedule.
He's still mad because I said Florida gave a game away. Did you get to watch Florida, Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
Well, I think this is Mosley's last, sort of tune-up opportunity. I mean, you look down the line: Wakulla, Childs, Navarre, Crestview, Niceville. I mean, here we go for the Dolphins. So
yeah. And this is what, week 4?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Week 4 coming up here.
Wow. Again, high school football starts tonight. Rutherford's got a big game at Tommy Oliver. Get out there and support these young men. Let's talk about some of our great people. I appreciate all of you, especially Dr. Chad Mitchell. He's been taking care of athletes now for 23 years on Bay County sidelines. A legendary doctor. He'll be in here Monday morning talking about college, high school sports, and you name it. If you get injured, go see him. I think we've all been there. Does an incredible job. Julie, he did a great job with you, right, when you had that, what was it, the foot, hand? We can't hear you. We got to have a mic. There you go.
A tear in the meniscus.
Yeah. What?
A tear in the meniscus.
That's in the knee, Coach.
In the knee.
Sounds like a movie. Sounds like a movie to me.
I don't believe. Are you sure it was tear?
Yes.
Because Chad and I talked about it. Now, my opinion, it wasn't torn.
It was a tear in the meniscus.
In your expert opinion.
Yeah.
X-rays or whatever I got.
All right. Let me tell you where you need to be this Saturday. And Brian will be right there, buddy.
Yeah.
75-cent wings. All day long Saturday. Rick Shock does such a good job down there. Jan, Trudy, the owners do a great job. Big LSU fans. All they ask you to do is wear your colors, man. Wear your Bama stuff, your Auburn, Florida State, LSU, Tennessee, whatever it is, Miami. Put it on. Get down there Saturday. Watch those games. 75-cent wings. You can't get that anywhere. You can't go to Publix and bring it home and cook and save money. Go eat there. 75-cent wings. Drink specials. And Brian was there last. Let me tell you what he does. He eats all this food, and then he goes, their desserts are pretty good.
Yeah.
What did you have?
I had a key lime pie.
And you complain for 2 days. Good. He goes, My stomach hurts.
You know what? I didn't complain when I ate it.
No, and he didn't share it either, buddy.
No, I did not.
Oh, my God. Get down to Rudy's Barbecue on Thomas Drive. You'll absolutely love it. I'm sorry. That Cajun place. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. Jeremy, the best barbecue you can get anywhere, but what about those turkey sandwiches? Or that turkey plate?
You know what I saw when I was driving through Austin?
Rudy's Barbecue. Yeah. I think they had a sign. I saw a sign on TV during the game about Rudy's Barbecue. I guess it was in the stadium, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out there. Ethan Boyd does an incredible job. He wasn't happy when he came here Tuesday. He's not happy with Jimbo.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Let me tell you.
I'll tell you what's going on. If you have a problem with A&M now, we got the answer for you.
I got to read this.
Yeah.
So every billboard owner's best friend, Alexander Shannara,
Yes.
who we all know and love so well, put out 2 tweets this week. Number 1, if you or a loved one find yourself stuck in a $75 million contract with no results, you know who to call. And then he followed that up with, need help with future contract negotiations? Call me, Texas A&M.
That was unbelievable. I love that guy. That guy's crazy, man.
Those Texas fans were almost giddy as that took place at College Station.
All right, we'll be right back. 102.1 and Mary Anna. And I hope Bulldogs, good luck tonight or tomorrow night whenever you play. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And Port St. Joe, man, they always have a great football program down there. They do it. Tanner does a great job down there. They're incredible. 101.9 Port St. Joe. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. When Aaron Rodgers loses Devontae Adams, you have to now develop patience. So Aaron does ayahuasca. Maybe that helps. This was the fastest game those young receivers had ever played in. This was the Vikings' arrival on the road. Of course the game was fast. Of course they had a drop of their kids.
The Herd, weekdays 11 to 2 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
That boot store is having a big sale on select clothing, including shirts, jeans, jean shorts, jackets, ball caps, and coats. You know a sale at that boot store is something special. So don't miss out. That boot store, next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street in Panama City. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your heart. That boot store.
Now, your home for Mosley Dolphin football. Listen to live play-by-play all season long. Now back to the J. Michaels studio. It's the Coach James Hale Show right here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. We are back. Jeremy Pridge is with us today. Tommy will be with us probably, I think about a couple weeks he'll be back in here.
Yeah, you're cruising Utah right now.
Yeah, and Brian is in here.
At least he's not out killing Bambi today.
Yeah, he's not killing. Well, who knows with him? He might shoot something out there. But he had some pictures posted, and I said, Tommy, will you be here in the morning? You going to be on time or what? He never responded. But anyway. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to start doing our picks. I got to leave early today. I got a long trip, so we're going to do the picks because nobody trusts me to call in. I got to call in tomorrow. I'm going to call in with Ryan Movey. trust telling him anything beforehand because him and Jason are coming after me big time. The worst I have ever done in 8 years of doing this. Usually I win every single. See, I'm not bragging. Yeah, I am. But I usually win every single year of these picks. Now we don't do it like you guys with
He
the point
who
spread.
keepeth the list winneth.
It doesn't matter who you vote for; is who counts the votes. Okay, go ask the Democrats. All right, Jay. What do you got for us?
All right, somebody gets a win tonight. Tommy Oliver, Mariana, 0-3 at Rutherford, 0-3.
I'd love to pick Rutherford here. I don't know. Maybe I'm clutching on to Mariana's
so
toughness
young.
for the last couple of years and all. And yeah, Rutherford is young. Give me Mariana here, but I hate picking it, honestly.
I'm with you, Brian. Bulldogs.
I have no. I don't know. I think Rutherford can do it tonight, but they're so dog young. I mean, Tillman starts so many sophomores. I'm gonna go. I'll go Mariana. I don't feel good about this pick though.
All right. South Walton, Arnold.
South
0-3,
Walton,
South Walton,
South
undefeated.
Walton, South Walton's
Yeah,
loaded.
South Walton.
Loaded. I tell you what, now Arnold's gonna score some points.
Leon at Mosley.
Mosley.
Yeah.
I believe in those Dolphins.
Mosley.
I believe in Dolphins.
When I looked at the non-conference or non-district schedule,
Well, Quincy Monroe's a lot better than it used to be.
a lot better
Yeah,
used to be.
yeah.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of kids out of Tallahassee
Exactly.
that are driving
Well,
out
that's
to
the
Mount
thing.
Pleasant.
I mean, it's not just Leon's 0-3. They've been pretty much blown out in all three.
Yeah. By North Florida, Florida High.
Yeah.
So, okay, Graceful Tigers winless on the year at North Bay Haven, 1-2.
Whew.
I like the Bucks.
Tyrone Bower, unbelievable coach. He one of the greatest guys on earth. Wonderful Christian man, Christian coach. Who you got?
I'll make the local pick. I'll go North Bay Haven.
Yeah, I think I will too. Tyrone's just playing a lot. But I tell you what, he played Bill. Or Bill probably took it easy on him though.
All
Played
right.
pretty good. I don't feel good about this pick.
The Franklin County Seahawks going to make the trip up Highway 65 to Liberty County to take on the 1-2 Liberty County Bulldogs.
What's Franklin's record?
1-2.
I'm gonna go Liberty County at home.
Yeah, Liberty County.
Yeah, I agree. Being at home.
Yellow on green. Somebody's been mean. They throw a lot of flags over there. Yeah.
Where's he come up with this stuff?
30 years of coaching.
That's right.
The Trenton Tigers making the long trip to play the Weewaw Hitchcock Gators.
Bobby Johns. How
Gators.
good's that team anyway?
0-3 coming out.
I
of
got
Trenton.
Bobby Johns.
Weewaw
Yeah.
6-2
I love
and
Bobby
1.
Johns. I think he's
I
one of the
could
top
sit here
coaches in
and
the
lie
country.
to you and tell you I know anything about Trenton, but I don't.
It's
I know
interesting.
Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton's south of here.
Go
I know
go
where
around
Trenton's
the
at.
bend
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
They played Trenton.
I'm
and
just a
Bell.
believer in Bobby Johns.
Yeah, Bobby.
You got a lot of those
Weewaw.
little schools like Trenton and Bell and Bradford and Bronson, and so he's played a couple of them this year. Freeport 1-2. The Bulldogs making the trip up to Cottondale 1-1.
That's a good little trip. I liked what Freeport did turn it on late last year. I wonder if they're going to do that again. Give me Freeport in the hopes that they'll kind of start a mid to late season.
Southern Mississippi to the top. I love the coach over Freeport. I'm going Freeport.
All
You
right.
better win. You better win.
I got Freeport as well on the road here.
Yeah.
Vernon, as we know, playing under the very tough circumstances this year.
Chipley.
They've still winless, and they're having to make the short
Chipley.
trip up to Chipley.
Chipley's
3-0.
loaded.
Yeah,
Chipley's loaded.
Chipley.
It's
Poor old
Chipley
Vernon. I feel
Tigers.
bad for all of them. We're going to have to deal with that.
All right. Pike Lib out of the Troy area, making the long trip.
Wait a minute, is that the new place in Montgomery out in
No,
Pike
it's in
Road?
Troy.
Pike Road.
No, not Pike Road. This is Pike Liberal Arts Academy coming out of Troy. Playing at Port St. Joe. This is that AISA.
You sure?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Positively.
I'm going to go with Port St. Joe.
Oh,
I don't
Sharks big. Pike
Yeah.
Lib's 0-3, and so you had-
Agree. Port St. Joe.
Do you know how he knows? He knows what he's doing. He checks all this stuff out. He is good. He is
great pick.
Yeah, I didn't walk it. I didn't walk in this morning with my AISA.
Yeah, they're 0-3. The left
Scouting
guard,
book.
the left guard sprained his ankle yesterday in practice. The coach has got a cold. Yeah.
Next will be Oregon 1A.
Yeah.
All right, two more. Holmes County 2-1, making the trip up to Sneads. Holmes County got beat by
That's
Chipley
going to be
last week. That's
Coach
a
Lee
heck of a
does an
ball game
incredible job.
up at
He's going to have
Citizens
them ready to
Field.
play. But Bill Thomas, my boy, is going to get it done.
I like the Sneads Pirates this year.
Yes,
they
sir.
have
Go
quietly.
Bill.
What's
Do
the
it,
running
Bill.
back? Is it Roberts?
He had almost 500
Patterson,
yards. Yeah,
Patterson.
he had almost
is
a
that his name?
record.
Whew, he's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
give me Sneads at home.
Yeah.
And
It's going to be a good game now.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
going to
think
be
the
good.
big one in Northwest Florida is taking place at Tommy St. Amont's alma mater. Wakulla War Eagles 3-0 coming in to play the 3-0 Bluntstown Tigers.
I'm going with color. I'm going with color.
You're going to go with the big
I'm gonna
school?
go with the
Have
bigger
we
school.
had a difference in any pick yet?
I don't think so. I don't
Well,
think
y'all are copying me, even though I'm going
All right.
last.
Well, just to make it different, I'll take
you're
Bluntstown.
going to take the Tigers
All
at
right,
home.
all right,
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Good. We just won.
That finishes off the high school picks. We picked 11 of them. I got 10 college
Let's
games.
do it.
All right.
Dun,
Georgia at South Carolina.
It's going to be closer than people think.
I agree.
Georgia in a closer game.
I agree. I think South Carolina gives them a lot more than they want.
Yes, 100%.
Even though I don't love that South Carolina team.
I got Georgia big.
I love Kirby Smart. I do. I'm a believer, but it's going to be closer than you think.
So here's one of these games that the fans like to see in the non-conference. Ole Miss heading to Atlanta. Let's just celebrate that moment. We don't get to say Ole Miss to Atlanta ever.
Yeah, exactly.
But they play
makes me very happy that we say that.
And we never enjoy celebrating Ole Miss.
Yeah. So
I play at Southern Miss.
As long as Ole Miss goes to Atlanta every September, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't want them there in December.
You got that right.
All right, so Ole Miss in Atlanta playing Georgia Tech.
I think it's going to be closer than people think. I think Ole Miss wins, but I think Georgia Tech's a better ball club than people think.
I don't on this one. I think Ole Miss is starting to find their rhythm. I think they've kind of got an idea of what they're going to do at quarterback now. And Zach Evans playing pretty well until he wants to use his cell phone on the bus.
Who'd they beat last week?
Oh, you
Was it
would have
close?
to ask me that. No.
I can't remember.
And they've got a heck of a running game going. So give me Ole Miss here.
So our boy that didn't want to give up his cell phone's playing pretty well.
He's playing well. He's good. Well,
haven't
he's
paid
always
much
been a good running back.
I have not watched Ole Miss once this year.
So I got the SEC winning this one.
Yeah.
The SEC cost me last week, by the way. Go ahead.
Well, nobody was really big. Nobody's big on the Sun Belt until last weekend.
The Fun Belt.
Yeah, the Fun Belt. Yeah.
All right, Vanderbilt at Northern Illinois. Can Vandy
I'm
bounce
gonna tell you
back?
what, Northern Illinois is
It's
better
a
than
tough
what people
program.
think.
Yeah, that's why I threw this in here.
The sport of football loses in this game.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no. Vandy upset me last week. I was upset. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Northern Illinois at home.
What are you gonna do?
Vandy made a pretty darn tough road trip and smoked Hawaii. So I don't.
Yeah, but that was Hawaii.
I can't believe these.
And they torched Elon.
I'm not sure I've ever said these words in this order. Give me
dry
Vandy.
heat in Hawaii.
Give me Vandy.
Who you got, Coach?
I don't know. What's Northern Illinois' record?
I'll have to pull that one up here.
They played a couple games.
Yeah.
Come on, that's cheating. Looking at
I'd pull it up on ESPN, but that's a lot of scrolling I got to do.
You sure they had a money game, I mean, and Vandy.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Ole Miss last week, 59-3 over Central Arkansas.
And Vandy giving up a home game to go. I mean, they've been on the road to Hawaii. Now they're going on the road to Northern Illinois to play the Huskies.
Listen, I did that SEC thing last week. It kicked me in the butt. I just remember Northern Illinois coming into Tuscaloosa and doing what they did. Remember that when Shula was there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember sitting
but I like the quarterback of Vandy.
So Tulsa's beaten Northern Illinois 38-35, and Northern Illinois has beaten Eastern Illinois. That was. I mean, all Illinois was just in suspense there. 34-27.
State champs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Vandy.
I think I'm gonna change my pick here. I'm gonna go Vandy.
See what you did, Brian?
Yeah. That's what I do.
I hope Jason Kovaleski's not listening.
I like how Northern Illinois creates NIL. But anyway, Mississippi State at LSU.
This is gonna be a great game.
Great ball game.
I hate this game.
I'm like you. I don't know who to pick.
I got LSU because Mississippi State's still in the desert.
Well, I mean, even years when State has been really good, LSU has been Mississippi State's team that just gives them fits.
You scare me.
I'm telling you, I can't. I was in here yesterday with Leanne in the afternoon. It's the same thing. Every year we should beat LSU. We don't. And I know what happened 2 years ago and all like that.
But it's a day game.
Yeah, I should pick LSU, so I'm happy with my picks, or I'm happy with the result. But I'm gonna be a homer. I'm gonna take Mississippi State.
All right.
They got so many returners back. LSU lost their best defensive lineman week 1.
Yeah, but LSU got a lot of stuff figured out last week. They got Butte feeling good again. That locker room's coming together better.
Against Southern.
It ain't
Hey, I'm going Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Go Dogs.
I hope so.
All right.
Little Dogs.
You took Mandy too. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. What'd you say, Brian? We got to go.
We hitting the break?
Let's hit a break.
All right. We're down to 5 games.
Yeah, let's hit the break. I got to get the gas pedal going. I declare myself the winner. I got to go. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's get down to Blue Sky Express Car Wash. Get that vehicle looking brand new. They do an incredible job down there. It's on Back Beach Road near Alf Coleman. Go try it out. I think you'll love it.
Get rid of them love bugs all over
They
the front
do.
of your car.
I'm telling you, John, if you haven't been there, you got to go. That's the best deal around. They do an incredible job. Blue Sky Express Car Wash in beautiful Panama City Beach. Newbies, John, thank you so much. Charlotte, we love you. Thank you, Newbies, for all the great things you do to the community. Get out to Newbies, have a great time. Newbies Tube's a place to go watch all sporting events. I saw Maggie Bay at J. Michaels. She does a great job at the Booze and Brew. And the Mothership. You know you're going to be there before the weekend's over. So get out there and have a great time. Tell them Coach sent you. Dr. Ward, hope you're feeling better. The guy's an incredible doctor. If you got something wrong with you, it doesn't feel right, look right, get yourself down and make an appointment with Dr. Ward. They got an office near you if you're listening right now. Skin cancer, 1 in 5 develops. It can kill you. Do not play around with that. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to cheat on your picks? Do you want to listen to other people's opinion and really not do what you think you should do? Jason Kovalevsky, go down and visit with him. He's kicking my butt in picks this year, and I don't like it. Anyway, love Jason. He'll be in here tomorrow. All right, we're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
If Saquon stays healthy, here comes an outrageous prediction. Ready? 2,500 all-purpose yards. They don't have a very good quarterback. But he's better than what Saquon had. They've improved the offensive line. He could have 2,500 all-purpose yards this season.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting another dry day today. Mostly sunny skies at near 90. Light northeast winds. There might be a shower thunderstorm later tonight. Partly to mostly clear in the low 70s. Water temperature in the Gulf 85. Showers and thunderstorms will be on the increase Friday into the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable health insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to another college football season. And welcome back to another season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper. That little slice of heaven. Every man, woman, and student section drinks Dr. Pepper like their life depends on it. It does. Where the air is filled with the scent of charcoal grills, and the streets are marked with yard lines. Practical. Where the current trending baby names are Blitz, Spike, and 2-point conversion. Adorable. And recruitment starts before you're born. It's a linebacker. Where NFT stands for Not Fun Tailgate, and DIY stands for Dr. Pepper is Yummy. It is. It's the place off-season fever dreams are made of, where the right to life, liberty, and barbecue is written in the town's constitution. Saucy. And the current forecast is sunny, with a 90% chance of the skies opening up and raining down delicious droplets of Dr. Pepper. Grab a bucket. Get ready for anything to happen this college football season on Fansville by Dr. Pepper. The one fans deserve. Grab some today.
College football isn't life and death. It's much more important than that. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Fans there. And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, 101.9 Port St. Joe, 102.1 Mariana. All right, let's get into these picks. Let's go, Jeremy.
FSU Friday night game at Louisville.
All right, Louisville. FSU has always struggled at Louisville.
They have.
Breaking news: Louisville just scored again. I mean, really. And that quarterback they have can be – he's like the Florida's quarterback. One day he looks like a Heisman winner. Next day he looks terrible. They got it going. They got that staff working their tail off the next week after they got embarrassed by Syracuse. It scares me to pick FSU, but I am.
I have felt like FSU the whole time. The more studying I do, the more stuff I come up with for reasons why it's going to be Louisville. But
I'm with you.
I do like the fact that FSU had the week off to get everything back together. I think there could have been a letdown coming out of that LSU game, an emotional letdown. So give me FSU, but I don't feel quite as good as I did a week ago.
Brother, I'm with you. What do you think, Jeremy?
I'm going to take the Noles. I think that we're going to start to see Norvell start to
come back,
show his coaching prowess here and get them back in order.
I hope you're right. It's Friday night on the ACC network, I believe.
ESPN.
Oh, ESPN.
6:30.
Good.
The Red Raiders making a long trip up to NC State, Big 12 ACC matchup.
Why did you pick this one?
I took Texas Tech to cover 10.5 here. Now, covering's a little different than winning outright. I've not been impressed with NC State this year.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech's coming off a big overtime win against Houston.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, that's quite a trip. So I think this game will be very close, but I do think
the
NC
win over
State
Houston,
will win it late.
The win over Houston, was that on the road?
No, it was at home.
Oh,
it was at home.
All right, who you got, Jeremy?
Carter Finley's a tough place to play, and I'm gonna have NC State.
I think this could be one of the games of the weekend, though. I really do.
This one's going to be fun.
And NC State won last weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'll go NC State. I don't feel good about either.
Both teams are still.
Y'all two know something, but I didn't pay attention to any of these teams.
Well, both teams are trying to find themselves.
Can we focus on the South?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
This is the South.
I'm just mad. Y'all are doing good.
All right, just to try to throw this three more in here. Liberty at Wake.
Hartman back. Wake got a pretty good
won.
win over Vandy. I can't believe I just said a good win over Vandy. Liberty is not the Liberty they were with Malik Willis. So, yeah, give me Wake here.
Southern Mississippi went into overtime with Liberty, which really surprised me. I thought Liberty would get them. Who you going with?
I've got Wake at home. I just threw this in here hopefully to give us some numbers.
Well, since I know you did your homework on these teams you're trying to throw me off, I'm going to agree with you.
All right.
Wake.
And then one interesting matchup here, BYU at Oregon. What happens with the Ducks with a pretty good BYU team coming in?
Yeah.
You know what's
BYU
funny?
beating Baylor this past week.
Yeah.
Baylor was my dark horse.
And they're getting paid a big paycheck.
And Oregon's favored.
Yeah.
In this game.
What?
Yeah.
Oregon's
well,
favored.
It was an easy 2.5, I think.
Yeah.
That is traditionally a very tough place to play. Autzen Stadium is loud and raucous, and I'm not sure after the whooping they took in
does
Atlanta.
Vegas know?
Well, I think they may be thinking BYU is going to have a bit of a letdown. I think they know that that's a tough place to play. I think Oregon needs to get things righted after getting smacked. But remember, Vegas is about balancing the money. It's not about picking the winner.
Yeah.
So
who you got?
I think BYU is going to win this game. It may not be as easy as it should be for them, but I do think they get the win.
Yeah.
BYU, let me tell you something. They've got a tough schedule. They go across country 3 or 4 times
Arkansas
this year.
too.
With some of the games they could win, they run the table. They're going to be in the playoff discussion as much as USC.
Yeah. I agree, especially if they beat those teams.
I'm going with BYU. I mean,
Yeah.
Oregon's lack of a showing against Georgia. And
first-year head coach.
And we don't talk a lot about this with BYU. BYU's players are traditionally older because they've all
I
taken
talk
their
about
2 years.
that. That's
Almost
big.
their whole team
Remember
is
the
back
old
from
days?
last year.
Remember the old days when Nebraska ruled the world? They always redshirted those freshmen.
Yeah.
Every year they redshirted, and they were older than everybody else they played. I have talked about that. Yeah, I'll go BYU.
Okay. All right. 2 more left. Miami at
This
Moon
one
West.
scares me to death. you know A&M's going to come out. Look, they're going to be a lot better this week. We know it. They're going to be prepared. They're going to be playing hard. They were embarrassed last week, but I don't know if they can get it done.
See, again, here's a Vegas thing. Texas A&M's 5.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
After what we saw last week. Now, Miami's, they're not usually very good on the road.
No.
They've got a good quarterback, though.
And they got a good head coach, too.
And they've got a good head coach.
How will the 12th man respond?
See, I think A&M's going to come out fired up, ready to go. But Haynes King is still too loose with the football.
Is he even going to be the starting quarterback?
He's going to start. Okay. Whether he finishes the
game
or not,
He's got a real short
see.
leash.
Yeah. I think they ought to pull him now.
As much as I want to say, ooh.
I mean, you lost game day this past week because of that. You know, are the fans are they going to stay in it?
Yes, I love Miami to cover.
What's 5.5?
5.5. I'll be honest with you. As much as I think A&M's going to respond, I still like Miami to win this game.
Got Miami coming in.
I really do.
Who you like?
I think their backs are against the wall. They know they didn't play well, so I won't take A&M at home. If this game were in Coral Gables, I would be.
I don't know. I look at that offense.
That is a hard game to pick.
Mm-hmm. The whole year their offense has been pathetic. I don't know. Miami's got speed all over the field. Can I just push this one?
Push it.
I'll call you all about 10 o'clock Saturday night.
Who'd you pick?
I took Miami, begrudgingly.
I took A&M.
All right, you listen to 104.3.
This is your chance. This is your chance to redeem yourself, Coach.
My God. I just don't know. I mean, I'm like Brian. I know A&M's going to play better.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to play a lot better. I think he's going to work the heck out. I just don't believe in his offense.
You can't have a quarterback who's loose with the football against a ball hawking defense like Miami.
And Miami's got speed all over the field.
I think there's a quick trigger coming on the starter.
Could be.
And
all right, I'm gonna go A&M. I'm gonna go A&M. I don't like that pick.
And we have talked
I
about
might call
this
you later back
for months, and
Sunday.
we finally get to see it.
Alabama versus Louisiana Monroe.
Yes, sir. I got Bama. I got Bama.
Fighting Warhawks. Penn State and Auburn.
War damn Eagle. Hey. That's not who I'm picking, but I just want to say
He's not going to be here later on to do that.
So he gauges the feeling in the room.
Yeah. All right, let's start with you. Let's start with you.
I honestly believe this is more of a heart pick than a head pick. It really is. I'm going to take Auburn. I think the environment is going to be lights out. I desperately hope they don't wear orange jerseys, even though they had a poll where fans said they wanted them, which I think is insane. But I just have a feeling that environment, and I know they didn't look good last week, but I'm still not sold on Penn State.
Do they got enough offense? Do they have enough offense?
I think they're going to make one play more than Penn State. It's going to be that kind of game. But
are you impressed with Penn State's quarterbacks?
I actually like Clifford, but he's very conservative. And I think that plays into Auburn's hands because I think Auburn's going to struggle with a team that's got a very dynamic offense.
Yeah.
Not a team that plays more ball control like Penn State does. So I think in a close game, the environment will matter. I think the Auburn student section is going to be hype and ready to go.
The orange out.
Give me Auburn. I don't love this game, but I really do think they're going to pull out a close one. I think Auburn's getting 2.5 if I remember right.
Yeah. It's
no, 3. It's up to 3.
It's up to 3. Yeah. The quarterback, you look at the quarterbacks. Penn State's probably have a better quarterback. If Auburn doesn't beat Auburn by him throwing interceptions, fumbling the football, not running the correct play, not the check downs and stuff, then Auburn will win. I don't know. Jeremy, I'm going to listen to you first.
This one is the season for Auburn.
Yeah,
with all that went over the spring of the year, and the clouds that are still swirling about with the changes in the AD just a few weeks ago, it's make or break, and the heat will be up. You hate to say that about one ball game, but this is the season.
Yeah.
And Penn State really, I think, is going to come in here and just get it done. I think there's going to be too much hype, too much pressure, and it's probably going to create a situation where Auburn buckles.
I get it. Franklin told the staff, the players, he knows all about Auburn. They said you're going to be prepared for it. And they've worked on it several weeks for the crowd noise. Penn State's a big physical football team. It's linebacker you. How can Auburn score any points on them? Penn State out of the Big Ten, traditionally powerhouse. They've been to the South. They've played in big environments before. Penn State comes into Auburn, and Auburn gets it done. I got Auburn.
All
Auburn wins the game.
You know, it'll be interesting to see if the Auburn offensive coordinators have held anything
I
back
was thinking
for
the
this
same
game.
thing. I was thinking.
I would certainly hope so after last week's showing, but
I pray they have.
You would, and the receivers are going to have to be a key, because if I'm Penn State, I'm thinking if I stop Tank Bigsby, we're good.
Yeah.
And the Auburn receivers have an opportunity here. If they can create some separation, if they have some good, routes designed for them, things like that.
Don't you think that you're going to see some bootlegs instead of just him dropping straight back, throwing the ball on the ground?
Yeah. The only problem with that is Finley's not very good throwing the ball on the run.
But the other one is.
Well, I know.
I hope.
We'll see.
Jeremy, you feel good about your pick, Penn State?
I do. I feel
it's not the Alabama in you.
No, I really think there's a lot of heat, just around that whole program, and you could see a meltdown Saturday.
But I've also seen, like Brian pointed out, I've also seen that stadium was rocking. Auburn looked like a totally different team.
My worry is the defense comes out overhyped and jumps some routes or things like that and gets hit over the top, because if they get hit over the top a couple times early, then it will get
well,
ugly.
I think what
they've got to stay in their lane and play their man.
Don't give up.
I don't think they were
don't give up the big
overlooking
play.
San Jose State.
Really?
I really think they were struggling against San Jose State. I don't think they were looking.
Did you watch the quarterbacks play, both of them?
I got to see.
They were struggling.
Yeah,
they definitely were struggling.
So you mean to tell me Penn State's gonna come in here and not be able to create the same disruptions that San Jose State?
Yeah.
So.
But I don't know.
I told you, mine's much more of a hard pick than a head pick.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of our some of our great people. All these sponsors are outstanding, no doubt about that. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. I tell you what, happy hour all day Friday and Saturday. Get out there and have a great time watching these games. NFL package, they got it all there. Cajun Place, 75-cent wings. You can't beat that. That's incredible. Wear your colors there. J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood. Coldest beer. Go support them. He's done so many great things for these youth leagues here in Panama City Beach. It's unbelievable. Chuck Tucker, great guy. Stevenson Air Conditioning. I don't have my list with me. I'm trying to remember who all they are. I got so many of them.
Buffalo Rock.
Rudy's Tooties on Back Beach Road.
How about Paparazzi?
Paparazzi Gourmet Deli.
Get you a pizza for that night game.
And that's what we did last. Julie came home right before kickoff with a Paparazzi Land Lover pizza before Texas, Alabama.
Let me tell you what, Big John, if you're listening, if Mississippi State can pull off this LSU game, have a couple of these meat lovers ready for me, because I'm going to eat both of them, and I'm just going to Uber to the hospital.
All right, Jeremy, you can do it. You taking over? You got it. You and Brian can get it done.
With it here.
All right, let's be fair and balanced now.
Yeah.
War Eagle.
Just don't turn on your radio when you.
Oh, I'm gonna be listening. I want to hear some good stuff. John, I'll see you Monday, okay?
All right.
Got you covered, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The legendary 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. 102.1 in Mariana. 101.9 in Port St. Joe.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Dan Patrick Show.
The Packers losing to the Vikings. Is that a big loss?
Yes, because it's different than a year ago when they opened up the season and lost. This was a divisional game against the Vikings, who I think are a playoff team. And, as much as I want to look at this and make it about the Packers, I also have to applaud the Vikings.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting another dry day today. Mostly sunny skies at near 90. Light northeast winds. There might be a shower thunderstorm later tonight. Partly to mostly clear in the low 70s. Water temperature in the Gulf 85. Showers and thunderstorms will be on the increase Friday into the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Get ready for the PCB Fishing Rodeo September 23rd through October 9th at Captain Anderson Marina. Join us for the kickoff party Saturday, September 24th with live music from 4 till 7 p.m. To be a part of this exciting event, you can register at Captain Anderson Marina or online at PCBFishingRodeo.com. the PCB Fishing Rodeo, September 23rd through October 9th.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe, powered by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida. Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide, and welcome back to ESPN 104.3 Northwest Florida, 102.1 up in Mariana, and over in Gulf County, 101.9 down in Port St. Joe. Jeremy and Brian in for Coach Hale, who is tapped out for the day. And,
yeah, Jeremy, that sounded like one of the Roll Tides we might have had down 16-10 this weekend.
It was quiet confidence there. Yeah. So we got a caller already? Yeah. Okay, well, let's go to the lines here. See who we've got. All right. Good morning,
gentlemen.
Good morning. Welcome to Coach James Hale Show. Who are we talking to today?
Oh, this is Coach Mike Cube Whitworth defending Grandpa's honor. Roll Tide. Not really. Well, that Crimson Tide, let's give them their due since they paid for this maybe. Anyway, they're still unbeaten. What if they – let me throw a scenario out for you. They played 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If they go, 12 or 13-0 and win every game by 1, what do you call them?
National champions.
Exactly. So, as a Tennessee fan, I am not ready to pronounce them dead, and no one should, out of respect for little Nicky and his deal with his daddy. Anyway, I did talk to a guy 2 days ago who's a Georgia fan who's worked at 3 universities in Tennessee and is born in Alabama. That tells you how crazy it is in the South. He told me that not only was Tennessee going to lose to Georgia, which I expected that out of him, they're going to lose to Alabama and Kentucky and maybe Florida. And I'm thinking, I'm a realist. I'll take 50-50 on all 4 of those, really, and be semi-happy. But it's a little early in the season. I want to congratulate y'all, or at least say approve of your courage in picking these games this week. It's tough ones, actually.
They are some tough picks this week, and we're still learning a lot about these ball teams. You know, you hear what the projections are, and then you start to see what reality is on the field. And, you know, kudos to Tennessee going up and winning the back half of the Johnny Majors Classic. Great ball game in a tough environment against Pitt. So,
well, we were dealing with what Alabama dealt with on the pregame show where they talked about what if Colt McCoy, and that's what the Georgia boy told me 2 days ago. He said, what if they're, you're playing against a second-string quarterback. I said, yeah, but he was a senior. He's pretty tough. He got a weird delivery. He ear-holed a Tennessee lineman with his low release point. But, that's a hard-fought game. And, we were down.
Mm-hmm.
We were down in a hostile environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm sorry I don't really have the energy to spend time on the Woke Bowl where Woke Forest beat Vander Woke, in front of 800 paying customers.
Exactly.
2,000 freebies. But Alabama's got a pretty good road ahead of them, man. They got Austin Peay and Vanderbilt. I don't know which one's going to be tougher. Vanderbilt is the only SEC team that gets paid to go to the MAC to play. I mean, I really think they should not be at the adult table when you talk about conference expansion, getting away from the NCAA, which I'm glad they talked about the dead period, which that's a stupid thing. NAIA coaches love the dead period. I know one that snatched a recruit right off the playing field just about one summer because he got to romance that recruit better than the NCAA coaches did because it was a dead period.
Well, you have to give props to Vandy's financial advisors telling him to stay at the table in the SEC, though.
Well, here's the thing: Vandy has more money than anyone in the SEC. They got like less than 5,000 undergrad students, and they're sitting on a war chest where they actually forgive tuition if you can't get there.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Ingram, who is a Vanderbilt patron, I mean, she's a lot nicer person than some of the other ones we talked about. I don't know, she's getting way on up there, but she's got 3 fine sons, one of which went to Duke, though. So they can buy and sell Alabama, but they choose not to because of things like toxic masculinity and things like that involved in football. Well, I'm enjoying intoxicated masculinity, which, and I spent many happy and unhappy afternoon and evening at Dudley Field in my youth. Now, a lot of people waste their youth at the pool hall. Now, I remember one afternoon where Jimmy Streeter scored about 3 touchdowns in a quarter and a half, and I went to the pool hall after that. But, that's a Tennessee quarterback. But, I like Tennessee, really, because what's there to like about it? That's what a Vandy fan is, someone who pulls for Alabama in the bowls and for the Kentucky basketball team in the NCAA playoffs, usually. But, hey, Stoops was upset because Mark Stoops, not Bob. Mark Stoops was upset because Calamari, whatever. Coach Calamari, let's call him that, Squid, he said Kentucky was a basketball school. Well, Stoops shouldn't have got upset about that. He should have just said, yeah, it used to be,
Yeah.
Until you lose in the first round to a 16 seed or whatever it was. But God bless Kentucky and Tennessee, and Alabama, and all of them. I saw Vandy actually has a title sponsor at Dudley Field. I mean, I thought it might have been there's a mortician school that used to be near Vandy called Gupton's. I thought maybe they call it the tomb of the tomb, but it's First Bank Field now. Commonwealth Stadium is now Kroger Field, but I don't know why Doak Campbell isn't Doak Campbell Soup Stadium or something like that. I mean, what's going on with FSU? They don't know how to market. They don't even own their basketball arena, so they can't sell the rights to that. The county owns that. Yeah. It's like, so there are steps to be made at FSU too to stay big time or get back to big time. But I'm sorry, Coach Hale's headed toward Birmingham. I hope he's not going to the UAB hospital. I hope he's going up there for fun. But
no,
traveling mercies to him. And
it's a good trip for him. Good trip.
Yeah. Isn't Liberty coached by the old blindside coach?
Old Hugh.
Hugh Freeze. So maybe he can go into Woke Forest and pull the upset.
I don't know.
I
think he wishes he still had Malik Willis with him, but
I think he does. Hey, there's been some pretty good players come through Liberty and leave there, but
that's true.
He's a little different. I don't want to get into that, but I've actually seen him. I remember when he coached Lambeth, which doesn't even have a sports program anymore.
Right.
But anyway, y'all are doing a great job without without your quarterback there, who actually is semi-good special teams guy from Southern Miss. Anyway, he's a better athlete than I ever was. Like I say, the only thing that kept me out of major college sports was my 2.42 grade point average and my lack of natural athletic ability. But, I don't want to get engaged with Eddie, who mentioned my name yesterday in vain. I don't want to get involved in a battle of wits with someone armed with a water pistol. And I've got a machine gun. Yeah. But, he picked like the 6th best team in the Pac-8-12 to beat what might be one of the top 4 teams in the Big Ten. If he is correct, that means we need about 4 SEC teams in the championship. If he's correct. If he's incorrect, or if he's correct, maybe they ought to just recruit Washington State and Washington, because Washington State went into Camp Randall and whipped Wisconsin, who's usually legit.
Yeah, well, and the Big Ten's looking at Washington, and I hate to burst your bubble here, Mike, but I went with him. I took Washington in the upset as well.
Well, is Sonny Six Killer Jr. playing for him? I mean, I can remember when Coach Bryant took a good team out there, and everybody's worried about the big trip.
No, and Don James isn't coaching for him anymore either.
Yeah,
but,
Coach James ain't there. I don't know. So what do you see in Washington? Seriously, not that I'm going to bet it.
I honestly, it's more about I don't think Michigan State is as strong. I think they relied on Walker a lot last year. I think that they were riding that momentum. I think they're going to struggle. That's a tough trip out there, and Washington generally plays fairly well at home, so I'm just going on that.
Well, back when Coach James was there, as you're talking, and Sonny Six Killer and people like that, they didn't have the Seahawks, and so I don't know what the crowd will be like, if it matters. And what matters is they don't have an earthquake or a volcano or a tidal wave while you're out there. or you don't get caught up in a demonstration about them abusing the fish down there at the market where they throw them around. I don't know, Eddie. I shouldn't have. I talk bad about their cookouts. I gave him credit. They have a better bar culture in the Big Ten.
Sure.
After the game, I've done that.
You got to up there.
Yeah, I mean, you go inside. Hey, listen, they got Division III schools that got better bar culture than some Southern. We got our Baptistarian prohibition history.
Yeah.
That's why our pregame's so good, because you get into the fruit jars down here.
Well, Mikey, we got to run. We got a break
I know you do.
coming
You're
up,
doing
man.
a great job. Thanks for letting me have the bully pulpit a little bit. And go Trojans at App State. I think they destroyed Barney's deputy car last week celebrating. Maybe they'll be hungover. Bye.
That's Mike.
Yep.
Bringing us the Alabama update, brought to you by Steverson Air Conditioning, one of their favorites, I'm sure. I know we'll revisit the Alabama update here coming forward in the rest of the show here. Jeremy, you got anything quickly you wanted to get to?
We will hit the break and we'll pick it up. Yep.
Well, let's do that. We'll just another shout out to all of our sponsors here on the show. El Rodeo Tequila, Steverson Air Conditioning. Of course, they are the sponsor of the what was about a 12-second Alabama update today that we'll expand on here later. J. Michael's Restaurant, Blue Sky Express Car Wash, and Dr. Chad Mitchell at Southern Orthopedic Specialist. When we come back, we're going to finish up with Alabama. We're going to go into the Auburn Tigers. We're going to talk about everything. 102.1 Marietta, 101.9 Port St. Joe, and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the most live sports on the Panhandle. Premier NFL games every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. Triple header for you this Sunday. Patriots at Steelers, Texans at Broncos, and Bears at Packers. And tonight, it's the Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Coverage coming up at 6:30. Kickoff at 7:15. The NFL on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored by Dave & Buster's and Instant Replay Sports Cards.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, you know why we're here. The football season is back! Woo! That means those pregame barbecues with an ice-cold Pepsi? Totally back. Your perfectly placed football watching corner seat back and comfy as ever. 18 Sundays of touchdown scoring, Hail Mary throwing, ice-cold Pepsi flowing football action. You better believe it's back. And since that's too amazing to miss a single second's worth, Pepsi is officially giving you permission to always put football first. And when we say always, we mean always. Like when your lawn is looking less like a lawn and more like a jungle. If the game's on, then the lawnmower ain't. And those gutters you haven't cleaned, today is not their day. Or maybe those in-laws are back in town. Well, better hope they're football fans because your Sunday is completely booked. Long story short, crack open a Pepsi and don't let anything get between you and your football watching. With love, Pepsi, made for football watching. That's what I like.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting another dry day today. Mostly sunny skies at near 90. Light northeast winds. There might be a shower thunderstorm later tonight. Partly to mostly clear in the low 70s. Water temperature in the Gulf 85. Showers and thunderstorms will be on the increase Friday into the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
War Eagle! Hey! Martha, Kenny, everybody! Auburn Update here, brought to you by Bay Point every day. Ryan Mulvey. Of course, you know, the bowl projections had Auburn playing Coastal Carolina. I'd love to see if that happened, just to see what Ryan would do. Well, and I'd like to see Auburn in a bowl game this year, too. Yeah. But Auburn Update, Bay Point, brought to you every day. Get out there and play golf. There is nowhere better. But before we get into Auburn, let's go back to the Alabama update that we missed.
Well, several things coming out of Tuscaloosa as we look back over Texas and the game this past weekend, looking ahead to ULM. You know, if you're Alabama and you're going, okay, we get to get back on the field Saturday, what do you want to see? you really want to see more focus in the secondary.
Yep.
5 plays of more than 20 yards, and this was supposed to be a beefed up secondary. Eli Ricks back there is the transfer in from LSU, and they gave up some big ones that they cannot afford to do down their line. Receiver play inconsistent. Finally in the fourth quarter they were finding the mid 10 to 15 yards behind the linebackers to move the ball down the field, but several drops along the way, and that's been a question mark as to who would step in. Mechie, Williamson, they were like glue. You get the ball to them, they would stop and catch the ball and get yards after catch. More consistent offensive line play. Oh gosh, was that a problem last year? And did Texas defense scheme Alabama well enough? It looked like they did, because they certainly stymied anything Alabama was trying to do, and then minimize penalties.
Yeah.
Self-inflicted 5-yard, 10-yard stuff. So, that's what Alabama's needing, and that's not really about the guys on the other side of the ball. It's about controlling what you can control.
Mm-hmm.
Saban went into this at his weekly press rant. Somebody asked a question about, when the quality of opponent varies. Well, that was exactly the end he needed to really say it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the ball.
Focus, discipline, execution.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Doesn't matter who you're playing. Those are the things you're seeking.
Alabama's a huge favorite in the ball game. Interestingly enough, ULM is now a common opponent for Alabama and Texas. Texas had them in week 1.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, 52-10 out in Austin. Alabama gets them this week. So here we are, week 3, and we're going to get a little yardstick on how Alabama fares against ULM versus how Texas fared against ULM.
Well, and that's it. I can't say I could care less what the score is, because obviously I do care, but I don't care that it's I'm not interested in seeing 67-3 or something like that. What I'm interested in seeing is, at the end of the game, 3 penalties or less.
Yep.
2 drops or less.
Mm-hmm.
And some level of run blocking out of this offensive line. If I see those 3 things, I'm happy.
They were clinical against Utah State. I don't expect any different, but week 1, first game out, is a little different than week 2, coming out of a bruising 1-point ball game on the road, and how crisp will they be? Injury front, Tyler Harrell, the Louisville transfer's out. He's not practiced and won't play this week. So foot injury, so that's another opportunity for some of these receivers to step up and get some reps. As far as ULM, little history there. Their victory in 2007 is clearly the worst loss of the Saban era.
Oh, yeah.
That was his first year. But another little tie here, since this is the Auburn update. Who's the head coach for ULM? Former Auburn coach, Terry Bowden.
Terry.
That goes back a long time. That's Gene Stallings was lurking the sidelines.
Sure was. Hey,
Terry Bowden
he got a big win in '93, and darn near got us back-to-back in '94. That was a great ball game.
Absolutely. He's in his second season with the Warhawks. Their quarterback does have a high completion rate, 77.3%, Rogers. And then Tristan Driggers, playmaker, already with 11 tackles at linebacker. Should be a tune-up game for Alabama. Continue to sort of find their stride. Been following a little bit of the drama with Feinbaum and Pete Golding's dad.
I've read a headline or two, but I haven't really delved into it.
Yeah, so a caller really just kind of talked about how Texas was able to get Alabama off scheme defensively, and how that continues to be problematic for our defense. And Golding's dad called in, basically wanted the address, and told him he wasn't scared. So here we go. Mike in his Alabama update, he spoke about Alabama going out to Austin. I do think there's a little pause if you're an Alabama fan, if you look at the 4 other road games on the schedule. At Arkansas, at Tennessee, at LSU, at Ole Miss. Any one of those 4 could be a trap game.
Well, and every one of those environments is going to be just as hostile.
Just as hostile. Yeah. And I think that's a cause for concern if you're an Alabama fan, that you could get snagged. I mean, we've seen it happen at Ole Miss in the past. LSU, Alabama's fared pretty well
Mhm.
over the years. But that series has always been
Sure.
strange that way. Arkansas has been on the heels of Alabama with a prototype program.
You know, of all those games, and we've talked about it for months, the Arkansas would scare me more if they weren't playing A&M the week before.
Right.
So there could be some real physical issues coming out for Arkansas. Plus, it could be a letdown if they've got a big win there.
And if Tennessee somehow gets into that
The Tennessee game is the scary game because of where it falls on the schedule.
Yes.
And where it's going to be.
That's right.
And you cannot tell me Heupel from the beginning of the season it's like Ohio State, Michigan. There have been plays designed specifically for that game.
That ball game.
And so the Tennessee game, to me, as an Alabama guy, is the scariest game on the schedule still. Ole Miss is no pushover. Tennessee's scary.
This is the first time in a long time, with that old adage around the Alabama program, how good are you?
Mhm.
Well, we'll know the third Saturday in October.
That's right.
And referencing the Tennessee game, which was always the benchmark, really the first time out. So that's a little bit of what is going on in Tuscaloosa. A couple other things here. Saturday's game at Texas was a first true home and home that Alabama had played since Penn State in 11. And there are little articles circulating around about the 5 home and home series that Alabama fans would like to see. And so number 5, USC. They played in the 70s and have not played since. They did play in Arlington,
right?
But as far as
not a home and home, yeah.
Oregon and Alabama have never played.
Wow.
Never played. So Autzen Stadium, Bryant Denny, that would be a fun
That'd be
one.
a trip.
Nebraska, last time that they played home and home was 77-78.
Wow.
I don't think Nebraska's going to sign that contract right now.
No. No, I don't think so.
They're probably not as interested.
Especially considering Frost is probably going to be employed by Alabama at that point.
The next few weeks. Number 2, Alabama, Michigan. They have never played on campus.
Wow.
Have played in bowl games and also played in Dallas.
I bet I can guess number 1.
Number 1 was actually Maryland with the Shockley, the coach. So that one last time played, and then with Tua's little brother.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
There's some ties there.
Loxley.
Yeah, Loxley. Yeah.
Well, and Coach Bryant coached at Maryland. So,
So a few ties there. Clemson didn't make the list. And that was one I thought that would pop up there.
I'm surprised Notre Dame's not on there.
Well, there is one coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's
why.
That
makes sense.
Looking through the ones that are coming up, because you've got Florida State home and home, got a 2-for-1 with South Florida, Wisconsin home and home, Virginia Tech home and home. So there's several that are coming up. But
I mean, obviously Oklahoma coming into the conference,
because
that's always a big one. But I can tell you one I don't want to see. And that's UCLA, because I went to both of those games in 2000 and 2001 and lost. Well, I went to the one in Tuscaloosa too. Yeah. So I'm not allowed to go to any more Alabama games, and certainly not going to UCLA games.
Yeah, who knew that UCLA had joined the SEC? I mean, they had Alabama State in, and then South Alabama going out.
Well, that's my upset special this week, by the way. The Jags are 2-0. They're going out west. They're 15.5-point dogs. I'm picking them outright. Outright. They're probably going to get beat by 60, but I'm taking them.
So a couple things non-football related. Alabama's men's basketball schedule has been finalized now, and they'll open on November 7th at home against Longwood University. But you just mentioned your Jaguars. Alabama coming to town. 11:15 at South Alabama.
The Mitchell Center.
Yes, so Alabama at USA. They do this occasionally.
Yeah.
They'll move around the state and play.
I may have to go to that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure my travel out as well. Other non-conference games of interest, they'll play Michigan State out in Oregon in the tournament. Could potentially get Oregon-UConn, depending on who wins that game, and then there'll be a third game out there. They will go to Houston this year and then host Memphis. They will play Gonzaga in Birmingham. They played.
I remember them announcing that one.
It's like Florida State and LSU. They're playing kind of in each other's area, but not at the home campuses here.
Right.
And then in the SEC Big 12 matchup, we'll get a little peek at the future here because they drew Oklahoma. And then the conference schedule's been released. So things are getting ready to take shape about 6 weeks up there for Alabama men's basketball. So.
I love it. Basketball season just around the corner.
It is.
Well, let's talk about some more of our great sponsors. We're going to come back and do a little bit of Auburn here in the next segment. Everything's just been kind of pushed back. But, we're just stringing y'all along, so you'll stay with us till 9 a.m. But let's talk about some more of our great sponsors. Rudy's Barbecue. Go in. Cheer Ethan up. Unless you're Alexander Shannara, you're probably not welcome at a Rudy's right now. But get in there. Let me tell you something. Great. There's nothing better than barbecue on football game day anyway, and Rudy's has the best you're going to find down here. That's there on Back Beach Road. Rudy's Barbecue. Get out and see them. Dr. Ward, if you've got any issues with your skin, something doesn't look right, feel right, don't wait and become another skin cancer statistic. Well, that's a hard thing to say. Get out and see Dr. Ward. They got offices all over this area to get out there, dermatology specialists, and get it checked out. That Cajun Place is where I'm going to be watching the early slate of games there at 11 a.m. 75-cent wings. You cannot beat that. And thanks again to Bay Point for the soon-to-be upcoming Auburn update here in the next segment. We're going to get back to that as soon as we return here. 102.1 Mariana, 101.9 Port St. Joe, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Your home for college football. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the most live sports on the Panhandle. Premier college games every week. And this Saturday, it's a college football triple header. First, Georgia at South Carolina, then Penn State versus Auburn, and Mississippi State at LSU. College football on ESPN Northwest Florida starts this Saturday at 10:30 and sponsored by PCB Coins and Cards. Listen live on 104.3 and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Tiger TV Pro is a new streaming service that provides you with over 3,000 channels for only $15 a month. You probably spend more than that on lunch these days. Get local channels, entertainment networks, premium movie channels, news and weather channels, and more. Tiger TV Pro even includes all the sports networks, including ACC, SEC, NFL, MLB, and NHL. Sign up's easy. Just go to ESPNPC.com, scroll down, and click the Tiger logo.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
That boot store is having a big sale on select clothing, including shirts, jeans, jean shorts, jackets, ball caps, and coats. You know a sale at that boot store is something special. So don't miss out. That boot store, next to Billboard Key on 15th Street in Panama City. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your heart. That boot store.
The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sitting in the morning sun.
That's a good tune for a Thursday morning. Brian and Jeremy back for you here on the Coach James Hale Show this morning. Coach Hale is en route up north. No, there's not a storm coming. He's just going up to hang out up in Birmingham, so no need to batten down the hatches just yet. We're going to get into a little bit of Auburn here quick, and then we've got a special caller on the line that we'll get to in just a moment here. But obviously a lot of the talk on the big Penn State game, but let's go through a couple other things going on in Auburn. Compliance Director Rich McGlynn has been named the interim athletic director. Now, the national search is underway to replace Alan Green. Of course, they came to a mutual termination here recently, and Obviously, this is going to have a lot of impact on the football program, but in the meantime, Rich McGlynn will take over, which makes sense to have your compliance director sit in on that, so that'll be good. Former Auburn baseball player Sonny DeShera, fifth-round pick this year of the Los Angeles Angels, or Anaheim Angels, or whatever they are nowadays. He has actually been promoted to the Double-A, and this is the reason I'm reading this story, because I just wanted to read this name. The Rocket City Trash Pandas in Huntsville. So he actually met the team up when they were playing in Chattanooga. So congratulations to him. And the conference baseball schedule has been released for Auburn. There's some great matchups here. They're going to start the season in conference on the road at Florida. Then the following weekend, March 24th through 26th, they got Mississippi State coming to town. Then at Arkansas. Texas A&M coming to Auburn, Georgia coming to Auburn. They're at Tuscaloosa for Alabama this year. They're at Ole Miss, defending national champs, as much as I hate to say that. May 5th through 7th, they got LSU coming to Auburn. The 12th through the 14th, they're at South Carolina, and they're going to finish conference play at home with a 3-game set against Tennessee.
Okay.
So, of course, SEC baseball is absolutely second to none. And speaking of second to none, we have got a special caller on the line. Caller, how are you doing today?
Well, right now I'm doing okay. We're out here in Panquist, Utah right now. It's about 36 degrees and we're freezing to death.
Oh, mercy.
Tommy Santamont, you're not killing Bambi out there, are you?
No, I'm not hunting. We're just touring.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to get any sympathy from us about the temperature.
I don't know. 36 doesn't sound good to me at all.
Tommy, Jeremy, good morning. Good to hear your
Hey,
voice.
Jeremy.
Saw Louise posted some pictures from Zion National Park. I've been out there as well. That's a picturesque place. So that's where y'all started your journey?
Yeah, well, we're heading over to Bryce this morning, Bryce National Park, Bryce Canyon. And, yesterday was an awesome day. We went through Zion, and, of course, it's just an awesome sight. I mean, it's just so – you can't hardly describe how pretty it is through there. Really a nice trip yesterday.
Yeah, that terrain out in the western part of the country, just unlike anything we see in this part of the world.
Yeah, we had rain yesterday. We had rain yesterday, but it didn't. Right when we got to Zion, it moved out. But we had some real hard rain the night before we went into Zion.
So where are all your travels taking you?
Where we're in Panquist, Utah right now. We're going to Bryce, and then we're going on over, hit Archers, and come back down into northern Arizona and go to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, then back over to Las Vegas. That's where we flew into Las Vegas. Okay. We're just making a big circle.
Big circle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
it's about 1,500 miles we're going to travel.
Well, we want to get your picks while we got you either on air or off air. We can grab them here. Just make sure we've got you lined up with the rest of us here. We made ours pretty early before Coach got on the road, so you had a chance maybe to listen to what we were saying.
Yeah, I did. What y'all need to do, y'all need to change that from the James Hale show to something else because he's never there.
Touché, Tommy.
I got a feeling our phone's about to ring again.
We're going virtual.
We'll just keep this line tied up, okay, Tommy?
Okay.
Well, very good. So who you like with Auburn Penn State this weekend? That's one of the big ones we've been talking about.
I think I'm gonna go with Auburn. It's at Auburn, right?
It is at Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Auburn.
And what about your Knowles? We kind of dissected that one pretty good too with the Friday night game at Louisville. Tough place for the Knowles historically.
That's gonna be a tough game. If they can control Malik Cunningham, then they got a chance to win. Of course, I've got to go with FSU.
I had it written down. Fair enough. We all have been stunned by what happened out in College Station, and Miami's coming into town. You're a big ACC guy, ACC, SEC. Who you like? A&M bounce back, or do the Canes get it done?
I'm taking A&M. They better win. If not, Jimbo's going to have to find a new place to go. It's not going to be FSU.
We got one other SEC, ACC matchup at Ole Miss going to Georgia Tech.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, okay.
Yep.
Then we looked at Georgia, South Carolina.
Georgia, of course.
Georgia, okay. And then a couple other college picks. We had Texas Tech at NC State, Big 12 ACC matchup.
Texas Tech, you said?
Yep.
And NC State? Where's that going to be played?
It's going to be at Carter Finley up in North Carolina.
I'm going to take NC State.
All right. So you're picking right alongside us here.
We're all going down in flames together.
Yeah. LSU hosting Mississippi State.
Mississippi State and LSU at LSU.
At LSU.
I guess I'm gonna go with the Tigers. LSU.
All right, and then Liberty is playing at Wake Forest.
Purdue at Wake Forest.
Liberty. Hugh Freeze and his bunch. Yep.
Oh, they're playing at Wake Forest or Liberty.
At Wake.
Okay, I'll take Wake Forest.
All right, two more in the college ranks. BYU heading up to Oregon.
I think I'm going to go with BYU.
I'm going to say careful. You're in the state of Utah there. Better be careful.
Yep.
Yeah, I know it. I got to do that.
And then Vanderbilt heading up to play Northern Illinois.
Who is that?
Vanderbilt going into the MAC and playing Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois, have they lost any games?
They're 1-1. They've split.
Okay.
Tulsa beat them.
I saw that SEC thing on Vanderbilt. I like their coaching and ways coach. I'm going to take Vanderbilt, I guess.
All right. I have to ask you about a couple high school games. Wakulla War Eagles coming into your Bluntstown Tigers. Both of them 3-0. Game Friday night at Bowles Field there in Bluntstown.
I got to go with Bluntstown. That's going to be a heck of a game, but I'm going to go with Bluntstown.
I think that's the best game in the Panhandle this weekend. I really do.
Absolutely.
The other one that I think is really big is Holmes County 2-1 off of their loss to Chipley, going up to Sneed's 3-0.
Oh, are they playing at Sneed's?
At Sneed's.
That's another tough one. I guess I'm going to have to go with Bill. I'm going to take Sneed's, I guess.
Okay. We think we can fill in the rest of yours for us. We got several 0-3, 3-0 matchups, so we'll fill those in. You can trust us on group picks.
I'll trust y'all.
Well, let me get one here. We got somebody's got to win tonight at Tommy Oliver. Mariana at Rutherford, both 0-3. Who you got?
Mariana.
Okay.
Mariana.
All right. I think that'll round us out there because the others, we got some good matchups, but there's some mismatches that are going to be played out that take place. There may see some running clocks across the Panhandle. So.
Okay. Since James is not there, I'll trust y'all to do my rest of the picks.
Yeah. We'll take good care of you.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Oh, boy.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we're all going to pick the same games, but somehow you'll have gone 0-12.
I've heard that before.
Well.
Oh, man.
Well, y'all have a safe trip out there, and when you heading back this way?
We'll be back on the 23rd.
23rd. Well, I won't see you for a while then, because we'll be heading out across the pond here about the time you're getting home. So.
That's right, exactly. Y'all leaving on the 23rd, right?
22nd.
Yep.
So we'll be
22nd. Okay.
Yep.
Well, y'all, I know y'all gonna have a great time. Be safe. That's the main thing.
That's right. Well, tell Louise we said hello. And good to talk with you.
I'll do it.
All right. Have a good
y'all
one,
take
Tommy.
care. Nice talking to you guys.
Thank you, Tommy. Bye-bye.
I enjoyed listening to his GPS in the background.
Telling him where to turn, where to go.
That GPS sounded aggressive there. Turn left.
Turn now.
Well, let's get a little deeper into the Auburn-Penn State game. Just some of the numbers here to look at. Points per game. Penn State 40.5, Auburn 33. Points against, Penn State 20.5, Auburn 16. Yards per game, Penn State 489, Auburn's 437. However, how they get those yards is vastly different. Penn State's averaging 323 yards passing a game and 166 on the ground. Auburn 190 through the air, 247 on the ground. Auburn obviously likes to run the ball. Now, if you counted all the interception return yards, Auburn have great passing stats.
If Auburn can run the football,
yeah,
that may swing the balance here. I don't think that Mercer and San Jose State are Penn State.
Yeah, absolutely right. If you look at the quarterback comparison, this is scary if you're an Auburn fan. Look at these numbers. Clifford has not been terribly efficient, 39-64, but he's thrown for 495 yards, 5 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Conversely, T.J. Finley's 22-34, better percentage, 279 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks.
3.
You can't turn the ball over in a close game. So that's obviously going to be key here. And, Penn State, I know they had a cupcake last week, but Purdue on the road was a tough test.
Tough one.
And, so they've been tested already. So it's a little scary.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think so.
It's going to be fun to watch.
I'm really excited to see the environment.
Yeah.
I mean, I really am, because I think those Auburn fans are going to be ready. They're going to be loud. They're excited. Look, it hadn't been pretty, but they're 2-0.
They're 2-0, and this game is the biggest one that they've had on campus from a sort of non-conference standpoint in a long time.
This is a team that lost, 5 in a row to close the year last year?
Yeah.
2 in a row is still a big deal.
And the Birmingham Bowl to Houston.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I'm certainly excited for it. I know the student section will be hopping.
Saturday is going to be picture-perfect weather-wise, 86 degrees on the plains.
And, you can't beat that CBS song leading us in for
there
that
you
game.
go.
I hate that we're going to lose that. So.
I know. I should have bought that in the
oh, my goodness. Well,
arrangement.
We're going to head to a break here. We got one more segment for you on the Coach James Hale Show. Let's finish up talking about all of our great sponsors, if I can find the list. Well, I know most of them. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. Get out there, get yourself a pizza, get yourself something from the deli. Coach Hale's out of town. You might even be able to get something from the bakery while he's gone out there at Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. We do want to thank Ryan Mulvey out at Bay Point. We finally got the Auburn update in today, so apologies it was late, but we did get that in. Don't forget about all the newbies, Buffalo Rock, Max Fit Sports Nutrition, Chuck Tucker at South Oak Title and Closing, all of our great sponsors here that make this show possible. When we come back, we're going to kind of go around the horn. We're going to talk about other things going on. There's some breaking news in the sports world that we're going to get into as well, right here on the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're the radio home of the Mosley Dolphins.
It's the Mosley Dolphins versus the Leon Lions, live from Tommy Oliver Stadium. Coverage starts Friday night at 6:30, kickoff at 7, right here. Sponsored by Southern Orthopedic Specialists, Panama City Toyota, Tavario Solutions, Gulf Coast Aquarium, Barano Heating and Air Conditioning, Barbaritos, Team MVP, Ellis Agency Insurance, First Federal Bank, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Thursday morning. I'm forecasting another dry day today. Mostly sunny skies at near 90. Light northeast winds. There might be a shower thunderstorm later tonight. Partly to mostly clear in the low 70s. Water temperature in the Gulf 85. Showers and thunderstorms will be on the increase Friday into the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable health insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Tired of being overcharged each month for health insurance or finding out you still have significant out-of-pocket costs from copays or deductibles when you do go see the doctor? Hi, I'm Kevin Shady with KHS and Associates. Our independent insurance agency has helped individuals, families, and even small business employees lower their health care insurance costs with no copays, no 80/20 coinsurance, and no deductibles unless you're hospitalized overnight. Call or text us at 502-386-1128. That's 502-386-1128.
Game days are always better at Dave & Buster's. That's because more TV inches, more food and drinks, more space, and more fun make the game we all know and love more special. Nothing beats seeing your favorite team take the field on the two 12-foot big screens or 26 75-inch TVs. Throw in the arcade experience and you've got a winning atmosphere that no other sports bar can deliver. Follow the fun at Dave & Buster's Panama City Beach on Facebook and Instagram. Eat, drink, play, and watch sports at Dave & Buster's.
Reach out, call up and just say hi. Give them a call. Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Just got some mellow tunes this Thursday morning. Welcome.
Coach is on the road. I'm feeling kind of mellow.
Welcome back to National Public Radio. Hey, that's a good tune, though. I got to tell you that. I'm still holding out for my Sam and Dave in the morning. I know. So we'll get to that. A couple headlines around the sporting world while James is away. We can get this in. Tennis legend Roger Federer, 20-time Grand Slam champion, saying it's time to end his career. He's going to retire. That's big news in the tennis world. I mean, he is certainly one of the best that's ever played the game. So
that's the end of an era.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it's a retirement or if it's a Tom Brady retirement.
That one's looking more like a retirement, too, there. It really
Depends who you ask. You asked Giselle, it should have been. So, yeah, that's an interesting one.
So.
Some tragic news, unfortunately. Clemson defensive tackle Brian Bresee, his 15-year-old sister passed away of brain cancer. I know he's very, very close with her. There's a really, really beautiful picture of them together on ESPN right now. But I do think this was expected, but it was a pretty aggressive form of brain cancer, they said. But Ella Bresee was her name, again, 15 years old. Oh, my goodness. That is so obviously thoughts and prayers go out to Brian Bresee and his family and everything that they're dealing with there. Yeah. Just some other news that came out. There was a story, Jeremy, that you were reading there regarding the transfer portal. You want to get us started on that one?
Yeah, so we've got the NCAA stepping in and instructing college football programs to get the names of any athletes who had entered the portal since the new portal windows went into effect on the 31st out of the portal. And so the schools are not allowed to contact anybody who entered during that time frame. And part of this seems to be around the 60 days through the year where athletes can enter the portal, and it was changed. And
right.
So there's a little bit of clarification more of the procedures around the portal. And I don't know how many that'll impact necessarily, but there were some notables. Oklahoma had a linebacker, Joseph Wite, Sergio Allen at Clemson, Ole Miss wide receiver Dennis Jackson, and you even after that FSU LSU game, there was some conversation about people immediately entering the portal after week one.
Yeah.
So people realize that maybe their playing time opportunities are limited, or they're not going to get them. So.
Well,
dissatisfaction that shows up.
But this is why the specific windows are a good reason. So you're not dealing with that literally from game to game. I mean, it does need to be a defined period of time, and you can still feel the same way. But yeah, I think that's a good thing. And but yeah, it just seems like in reading this there was just confusion about when these new windows actually went into effect, and apparently it was August 31st. So.
Yeah, I think this is a good move because you think of all the things that a college football coach has to contend with.
Yeah.
You've got to go on the radio show each week, and you've got to deal with the press and the press conference, and you've got to deal with academics and making sure everybody's going to class. And, oh, by the way, you're playing a football game Saturday. I mean,
well, recruiting, it's always been said, it's a 24/7, 365 gig for, regardless of dead periods, but there used to be 85 players you didn't have to recruit anymore.
Right.
You got to keep recruiting them now in this day and age.
Now.
So, yeah, it's something else.
So.
And then I saw where this was interesting, too, where supposedly, again, I got to read all the details, but a majority of athletic directors want the FBS to stay a part of the NCAA governing structure. Now, there's a couple reasons maybe for this. It could be that they legitimately want to stay under the NCAA. They just want to adapt maybe some of the NCAA's rules. It could be that it's a lot of smaller ADs who don't want to leave and don't want us going in the direction it seems like we're going. It also very well could be that some of these athletic directors realize the NCAA is shouldering a lot of the legal burden that goes on every time there's a governance issue right now. And I'm not sure, until you know what the structure and who's going to handle those, this group of ADs necessarily wants to open themselves up to all of that legal issue.
Yeah.
So what do you think on this one?
I would like the cover if I'm an AD personally versus having the exposure. And so that may be where cooler heads are prevailing, and takes one less thing off of the AD's plate.
Yeah.
Because like the coaches who are dealing with all of the things in their busy schedules, you add this to the AD who's managing the whole thing.
Right.
Now,
this whole idea of football coming out of the NCAA governance structure is fascinating because it's so big it almost hurts your head. Because there's so many questions, like how does this affect Title IX? I mean, obviously you can't throw it all away, but how does this affect athletic departments and what they have to fund otherwise?
Revenue.
Does it affect the balance with the Olympic sports and the non-revenue sports? Who handles court cases now? I mean, it's a fascinating discussion where everybody thinks, oh yeah, get it out of the NCAA, but then, sometimes the devil may be better than the devil you don't know.
And take that a step further for the balance of all of collegiate athletics. I mean, how many guarantee games took place? Marshall got $1.25 million to go beat Notre Dame. Well, the reason Marshall sells their football program out for that ball game is so that all of these other sports are able to exist.
Exactly right.
And if you take football out now, how many schools are cutting those programs? And so this is not just moving one thing. There's a cause and effect with a huge ripple of unintended consequences, and those are always there.
Well, and that's it. Look, I mean, we're talking about multi-billion-dollar industry, and those decisions can't be made on a whim.
No.
There are lots and lots and lots of details that have to be considered, have to be factored. You got all these contracts, you got to figure out this, that, and the other, and then, like I said, with court cases and everything like that, I'm just curious if football can truly, totally be separated, because the ripple effects of that are endless. Because, as you said, I mean, this is 25, 30 years ago, but I saw our athletic department budget lines. Football makes money.
Right.
Basketball at most places makes money. Even in the SEC, more than half of the baseball programs did not operate on a profit.
On a profit.
Now, this is a while ago, but the SEC was good then.
Right.
And then everything else operates at a deficit.
Yes.
So you're talking about the cash cow. It sounds great when you think about it with football, but obviously I've been involved with a non-revenue sport for most of my life. It would be potentially catastrophic to the Olympic sports movement in college.
Absolutely. And I know, profit loss matters. I get that. But at the same time, you have to look at the value added.
Right.
And sometimes you can't put a price tag on that.
Absolutely right.
And you look at the opportunities that are provided for a kid who may not stay engaged with their academics if that sport was taken away.
Yeah.
And those costs you really can't calculate.
Well, it's been fun finishing up here for Coach Hale today. Just a real quick announcement. We got 235 adult softball teams in this weekend at Frank Brown Public Sports Park and at Harder's Complex. Looks like they're going to have a little better weather to deal with than we did last weekend. So good luck to those guys, and thanks to everyone who puts those events on. Make sure you listen to Dave. Well, you'll be listening to Dave calling the high school game tonight. That'll be tomorrow night. Today, you got the afternoon underdogs, Dave, and who knows, we might even have another Golding threat against Paul Feinbaum later on here on ESPN. But again, thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you, Brian.
And Coach Hale will be gone tomorrow. Ryan Mulvey and the crew will hold it down, but we are out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Away.
Lafayette, Northwest Florida.
It's the most live sports on the Panhandle. Premier college games every week. And this Saturday,